During the workshop, the question of how do you want your mom to be involved in a healthy way in your everyday life, and the spontaneous response that we got from the children were they misinterpreted the question, because what's first and foremost in their mind is they do not want their parents to be involved in certain parts of their everyday life, and that certainly is a social media. And we can see from the response that, in a nutshell, they were saying that their parents were, quite intrusive into their affairs and all that with their friends in the social media. So the question is now, as parents, should we be friends or follow our teens on social media? You can ask, but don't insist on it. That's my take. You can ask them if you can follow them or be their friend, because some families are connected on social media and it works for them, but some do not. So some teens don't want their parents seeing everything on their pages, and they will certainly block you from seeing things, which kind of defeats the purpose of being friends in the first place if they do that. So following your teens online opens up a can of worms, actually, because you may not be able to figure out or to be able to manage things that you will read or things that you will know from their posts and things like that. So you'll have to figure out how to negotiate that new relationship of yours in the social media with your teens. So if your teens let you to be their friends or follow them, then stay in the background. That's my take. Stay in the background. Don't make comments unnecessarily, or even like their posts unless they want you to. I would advise that you pick your battles. Even if you see something that is not right and all that, make sure that you address anything important face to face. Say, for example, if they keep using that 4F letter words, and of course, in your family, those things are not to be tolerated. So what you can do is, instead of reprimanding them or tell them not to in their posts in the social media and all that, what you need to do is to bring up that issue face to face with them at home during teachable moments. That means during your time with them, happy times, relaxing times, not when they're stressed, not when you're stressed. And so you need to address it anyway, but make sure that you address it at the right context, in the right time, and things like that. Not to make comments on their pages in front of their friends. And parents, you need to stop oversharing on social media. Your teenage children really hate it. Mine do, actually. And with the PDPA law in Singapore nowadays, we seriously need to be careful with this kind of things. As although we are family. By the way, did you all know that in France, parents can go to jail for sharing their children's pictures on social media? I bet you don't, right? Yeah, well, I mean, the police won't come calling at our doors in Singapore right at this moment. But months or years down the line, you will never know. Our policy or our law in Singapore can change, and children may take us to court for sharing their pictures without their consent. So in good times they will not, but you'll just never know. Now, some parents who are listening to me may be saying that oh, that is so ridiculous, they are our children, we are family, I don't think they will do that to us and things like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm quite sure also that they may not be doing that if they have a good relationship with us. Mother and daughter relationship is going on well and things like that. But the reality is, if we are not going to address this properly and we don't know how to actually manage this properly, we are not addressing their need for private space. We may discount this as something which is just vanity and things like that. But I feel it's deeper than that, because teens these days are active on social media themselves. You can get Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat accounts at as early as 13, and they want to create their own online identities. Teenagers are at the seeking stage. They are seeking to be themselves. They want to be an adult on their own. So they certainly don't want these identities to be defined by their parents, yeah, who, as we know, are super uncool, right? I mean, we were teenagers ourselves then. Plus, these images are going to live online forever. The pictures are going to live online forever. And who wants photos of themselves acting silly on a family holiday, for example, to be discovered by a future partner or even an employer for that matter? Now, we seriously need to ask ourselves, why do people, including me, share their kids' photos and updates about their achievements, which could be actual prizes won, or getting first in class and things like that. It is, I believe, a curious blend of actually narcissism, if you have it, possessiveness, or sometimes showing off, sometimes just be proud. You just want to be proud of your children's achievement, but also an attempt to capture something, yeah, of the childhood, of the innocence of our children, and so on and so forth. So Facebook is also where we create, shape, and share, yeah, the narratives of our lives. And for parents like me, children are a huge part of that narrative, because we as parents are also documenting our lives, isn't it? Because our kids are a huge part of our lives, so there's no choice but to include them in our posts. What we can do rather is be careful, yeah, if we post them. Try to make sure whatever we say about them doesn't haunt them for the rest of their lives later on. Also, it's a good idea once a child is old enough, yeah, like your teens, to have his or her own social media account for parents to actually back off. You may monitor their accounts from time to time if you wish, though teens actively hate their parents snooping around on their Facebook. And it clearly showed, right? Your children actually said that, at the question that we posted to them the other during the program, during the workshop. So though teens actively hate their parents snooping around on their Facebook or Instagram feeds and all that, you may monitor it from time to time, and you need to discuss with them on these matters, because seriously, I don't have to repeat this again, but I would really want to. Teens actively hate their parents snooping around on their Facebook and Instagram feeds. So why do you think Snapchat is so popular? Because you can't do that. So by and large, they must be left alone to figure out their own online personas. Yeah, so pictures from the family holiday are okay, but for heaven's sake, stop recording their every movement and achievement. Yeah, you are seriously embarrassing your teens, and although they may not be able to take you to court for oversharing, they honestly wish they could. There are really many reasons why your children do not want you to be involved in their social media, interfacing with friends and so on and so forth. There could be many. There could be negative reasons, there could be positive reasons. The idea is for us to actually discuss with them, find out more, not interrogating, but make it as a conversation with them. Make it as comfortable as you can for your children to speak with you on their comfort level of you getting involved or not getting involved in the social media together with them, and so on and so forth. So again, the most important part here is for you to communicate with them, have a conversation, not interrogation, not why not and things like that, but you need to really understand that your teenager is in a transition of seeking themselves, a transition from childhood to adulthood. So if you keep doing things in the social media, things that they do not want you to, like posting their pictures or speaking with your friends over the social media, using their accounts and so on and so forth, they would definitely not trust you anymore with a lot of things about themselves. So that's where the trust issue or the trust problem will come in. So in the nutshell, if you want your children to welcome you in their social media, first have a mother-daughter chat about how, when, what and where you can participate in. Second, if they are not comfortable with you being there at all, do not push it. Instead, you should work on building and enhancing your communication and interactions with them instead. Third, give your daughter the assurance that you are there to care, guide and love them, yeah, so that they will be a more effective adult in time to come. Fourth, show them that you can trust them to manage their presence in the social media responsibly by giving them the space to express themselves by you being in the background. So you need to stay in the background. Fifth, pick your battles. Yeah, learn to sweat the small stuff. Don't be overly concerned about their language, unless it is really atrocious, if you know what I mean. And finally, stop oversharing, yeah, about your teens in your own social media as well as hers.